Morning, everyone. Welcoming everyone. Thanks for coming so early the second day of Bitcoin MENA conference. And I'm happy to welcome on stage our esteemed speakers, very famous Bitcoin builders, I might say. And today we have a very exciting topic because I believe like recently everyone is talking about Bitcoin because Bitcoin just recently crossed the new earth. And lots of people are talking about DeFi renaissance. That's another major topic. And today we're about to combine it all at one panel and to dive deep, what is the value of DeFi on Bitcoin? So let's start from introducing yourself. And could you please tell more about your story? What motivated you to build on Bitcoin rather than any other blockchain ecosystems?
All right, thanks, Juliet. Hey, everyone. So Brendon, one of the initial contributors at Core. We're the leading Bitcoin scaling chain today, just shy of $1 billion in TVL, hundreds of thousands of wallets. We're an EVM-compatible chain built on Bitcoin. So it's secured specifically by Bitcoin miners who delegate hash rate, help secure the network. And then secondly, there's a native Bitcoin function. So as a Bitcoin holder, you can drive native yield without giving up custody and help secure core chain. We're on a mission to scale Bitcoin's utility. As you know, there's no native smart contracts. Yield or functionality like that on the Bitcoin network itself, but it's great, decentralized, secure, and the most widely adopted asset, highest market cap. So we're here to expand its utility and enable a bunch of use cases with smart contracts on Core. A bit about myself. I don't want to take up too much time, but one of the initial contributors has been in tech about 15 years, have been in Bitcoin for 10 years or so, and it's obviously just the fair launch asset to me has the best brand, best community, most liquidity by far. So it seems like it's the biggest opportunity in all of blockchain. So that's why we're building here. That's what brought me to Core. And super excited to share some insights on this today.
But as I know, you started not from Bitcoin, but you switched to the Bitcoin ecosystem. Like, what was the main factor for you to start building on Bitcoin? What just motivated you?
Yeah, I was the founder CEO of a tech startup for 10 years that I sold to Silver Lake. So got a lot of operating experience ingrained in the tech community. But if you were in tech, you knew about Bitcoin, early 2010s. Everyone was talking about it. So it was always on the periphery and more of a hobby. And then after I sold my company, I was traveling around the world, really kind of became a digital nomad. And then you kind of see this digital money, non-sovereign store of value that kind of just spoke in every pocket of the world. And I believe in that. I've seen more government control, et cetera. So it just really spoke to me as a new financial system that we should be building on, and something that governments can't control. So for me, as a bit of a tinfoil hat guy, someone who's been involved in tech a long time, it was just really natural for me to start building in this space in the next thing after my last company.
That's great. Fisher?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Fisher. I'm the co-founder of the Boblum project. Boblum was founded by myself and Professor David Shea in early 2022. The reason why we founded that was that in the last cycle where there was a DeFi summer, we saw that the entire crypto industry is so fragmented. We have hundreds of chains and thousands of, if not millions, of dApps there. So we envision a world that is much more united. Okay, so we came up with the concept of Bitcoin security sharing, where we build native use cases of Bitcoin, extract its security, and use it to empower the rest of the decentralized world to create a more united crypto world. So our most recent development is called Bitcoin staking. Yeah, it's a native and non-custodial Bitcoin staking. And on top of staking, we will be able to unlock the liquidity of Bitcoin through liquid Bitcoin staking.
Phoenix?
Hi, everyone. So thanks for tuning in. So this early in the second day. So my name is Phoenix. So I'm the head of BDR, Bitcoin Network. So a little bit about myself. So comparing to these OGs, I'm pretty relatively new to the space. I got in this space around like 2 years ago. It's because one of my friends who I grew up with was working on this project. And he used to, which is also our co-founder of the Bitcoin Network. So he used to be like one of the chief scientists back in IBM China, so was in charge of blockchain research. So the team was founded by a bunch of just really experienced top-tier nudge engineers They started to build on Ethereum actually back in 2015 or something like that. So then fast forward to the idea of Bitcoin network. So because the last year, so we've seen like the ordinals, and then that really conjecture the Bitcoin network. So we wish to, and also we know that Bitcoin half is coming soon. So the rewards by the miners will be affected. So that's why we wish to solve that issue. We want at the same time to scale up the Bitcoin, and then at the same time we want to put more yield back to the miners. So then fast forward to Bitcoin network. So we've been mainnet live for 7 months already, and then just seeing over like close to 80 million transactions since then, and then just working with all the awesome project like Babylon, like Core. So in the space, really, I think the Bitcoin is also pretty, let's say, minor comparing to the crypto in general. But we also know that Bitcoin is also the biggest branding, so that we know that Bitcoin just hit 100K. So and then if we fast forward to like 5 to 10 years, we're speaking about like billions of people will be utilizing Bitcoin not only just for mining assets. It will be the future of money. So we're still here pretty early. So wish to contribute to the progress, somehow.
Thank you. Thank you for the amazing introduction. And so let's talk more about so-called Bitcoin economy. And from the ecosystem standpoint, we all know that Bitcoin network is still very slow and transactions are expensive compared to other networks. So how do you address that Bitcoin network limitations? And in general, if we're talking about Bitcoin economy, what kind of practical use cases and projects excite you the most within the Bitcoin economy space? Okay, let's do it vice versa. Phoenix?
What was the question again? Sorry.
So how do you address Bitcoin network limitations, and what kind of use cases and projects within the space excite you the most?
So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, right? So I think right now we're looking at, so as the Bitcoin price go up and the transaction on Bitcoin layer 1 is gonna get more expensive, and then at the same time even slower. So we wish to address that issue. That's why we build our roll up on top of Bitcoin, because we really have this vision that in 10 years there's gonna be like I think like close to 80% of the whole population on Earth will get engaged with Bitcoin or crypto in a way, so that apparently the current infrastructure is building on Bitcoin itself is still lacking. So that's why we built the layer 2 itself. And then at the same time, I think I mentioned a little bit about like bringing more yield for the Bitcoin holders. That's why we're super excited to partner up with Babylon. So I think they're doing pretty good. Really awesome project that's have a lot of technical innovations. And then so which means that we work, and so the users, they will be able to like stake their assets over, and then the Bitcoin will be yield bearing and then generating yield for them. And then it's going to be contributing to not only the users and all the whales or the Bitcoin miners. So, and then at the same time, we're seeing other, like say, close to layer 2 solutions like Core DAO. So just super excited to be in this space.
Yeah. So building on that, thanks by the way. It's pumped to work with you guys too. Yeah, I think the thinking is, Bitcoin was built a specific way. It's very decentralized and secure, and that community generally like measures 5 times, cuts once. So it's not going to go through a ton of quick upgrades to increase the velocity of transactions or compromise on its security. But at the same time, the initial, a lot of folks would say the initial vision was to be more than just a store of value asset. It was meant to create a new financial economy, to handle payments, and build a new somewhat financial system, right? So the thinking is, how do you make those two ideas work? And the thinking is you'll need to do that with sidechains or scaling layers, like Core or a few others, that are net benefits to the Bitcoin ecosystem. For example, you don't want to go execute this on some Ethereum ecosystem or other network. You want to do it with a Bitcoin-aligned scaling chain, or layer 2 in the future, that brings value to miners and Bitcoin holders, brings them all into the network, and allows these use cases like lend borrowing, the ability to collateralize your Bitcoin, use it as a stable coin, and actually send payments. You know, we kind of see a world where everyone will have Bitcoin, whether it's institutions or other folks. They'll get access to it. They'll collateralize it with a really low-cost loan, and they'll issue payments. And all those transactions are going to happen on a secondary network like Core, and they may settle on Bitcoin in the future, which will drive up fees. But you know, that's how we kind of think about making those two things work. Bitcoin's great where it's at. Again, it's not going to go through drastic changes necessarily anytime soon, and that's okay. It's great at what it does, and you bring in scaling layers to open up these new use cases and help it get closer to this vision of a new financial system.
Yeah, so Juliet, you earlier mentioned that Bitcoin holders do not have much to do with their Bitcoin. Yeah, so if you think about the use cases of Bitcoin, and you can broadly categorize it to CeFi and DeFi. For CeFi, yeah, Bitcoin is the same as any other crypto asset. There's nothing interesting there. But for DeFi, the on-chain activities, Bitcoin DeFi does not really exist because Bitcoin does not have much programmability and expressiveness, so you can't really build smart things about Bitcoin on Bitcoin. Yeah, so for the last decade, Bitcoin doesn't have any other major use cases besides store of value and simple payment. So what will make me excited about Bitcoin projects are those projects that can bring new use cases to Bitcoin and activate Bitcoin as an asset and a source of security. So as a Babylon co-founder, so what project excites me myself the most is the Babylon project itself and all the awesome ecosystem projects in the Babylon ecosystem.
Thank you very much for your answers. But overall, I believe, as Brendon mentioned, the main thing what we see in the space that lots of people, they hold Bitcoin and they don't want to spend their Bitcoin and change their Bitcoin into something else in order to operate within the chain, right? So that's why we are here to provide people the solution, then they can keep their Bitcoin and generate some revenue, which is what all the DeFi space is about, right? Let's talk about DeFi then, because it's our main topic, and I believe you are deeply engaged in this space. So what kind of challenges and opportunities, because the industry is quite innovative and we all know about it, so what kind of challenges and opportunities you see within the BTC DeFi, right? And can you give an advice to the audience how to DeFi on Bitcoin? Because I know some people, they just learn how to DeFi in general, and now we are talking about DeFi on Bitcoin. So it would be great to hear your advice and about what kind of challenges and opportunities you see within the space. Let's start from Fisher this time.
Okay, so before I share my comment, I would like to define DeFi first. Okay, so DeFi stands for decentralized finance. And what is finance? Finance is about capital efficiency, about liquidity, and about yield generation. Okay, and then for BTC DeFi, then you have CeFi for Bitcoin and DeFi for Bitcoin. And as I just mentioned 2 minutes ago, I don't think BTC DeFi actually exists. Yeah, because Bitcoin does not have any programmability. Whatever smart thing you want to do with your Bitcoin, you actually need to somehow bridge it to another chain. But bridging Bitcoin involves third-party trusts. So all the purpose of DeFi is no trust, no third party. You take your own risk. But with Bitcoin, it is not the case. So BTC DeFi, I would argue that it does not really exist at all as trustless as the other DeFi of other crypto assets. Yeah.
I think it's definitely a challenge. I like building on Fisher. I think you can. I kind of take a bit of the other side. It's there's just different trust assumptions, right? And if you look, there's tens of billion. I think it's the latest number is 20 billion or so that's been bridged. And that's pretty small for a 2 trillion asset. It's less than 1%. And there's a lot of research being done to make that more trustless, and then you'll see even more liquidity flow. But I mean, I think there is huge latent demand to put Bitcoin to work. that's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's the store of value, but it's also programmable. You can keep the store of value and use it, earn yield, put it to work in whatever way you want. So our thinking on this is there are trustless options right now, like non-custodial staking on Core, where you issue a time lock on the Bitcoin network itself, and you earn a portion of Core's block rewards for helping secure the chain. Right? Requires, you don't have to give up custody, you don't have to wrap bridge, anything, you earn yield, right? That's kind of your risk-free rate for Bitcoin. But we also have a very vibrant ecosystem on Core. There's 1 billion in TVL. I think that makes it just shy of the top 10, and then usage is like top 8 of all blockchains, period. I think there's just so much capital in Bitcoin and so much latent demand to put it to work that there's a lot of opportunity on chain too. I just think historically there haven't been a lot of opportunities with yield, people focusing on unlocking Bitcoin. So people weren't willing to take that risk to bridge in and do these things. So I think folks are aware of these risks. And now there are dedicated opportunities on chain. Folks will do it. And I think there's a lot of investment in the ecosystem to make things more trustless, which will be a big catalyst to make it even bigger. So overall, super excited seeing, whether it's institutions, retail people trying to put their Bitcoin to work. And our view is there's like a huge menu of different options there, from risk-free all the way to like degen behavior to really put your Bitcoin to work that we see as well.
Yeah, so I'd say I definitely agree with what Fisher and Brendon just mentioned. So, and actually that's the reason why we choose to put our focus on the infrastructure side, because, we desperately need a, let's say, decentralized bridge, right? A trustless way to bridge your assets over to other chains, right? And then also to scale up Bitcoin, you need scaling solutions such as Bitcoin Network Layer 2. I think I was listening to CZ's speech yesterday. He also mentioned that he's super excited for the future of Bitcoin. And then, but I do see a lot of challenges. Actually, I think one of the challenges, and I was talking with Juliet earlier, is that Bitcoin conferences is a little bit different from other crypto conferences in general, because Bitcoin conference is all about miners. It's all about, let's say, a wallet, ledger, stuff like that, right? And then comparing with crypto, I think crypto is like so much a broader space than just Bitcoin. And then for Bitcoin holders, one of the challenges is on the educational side, is that, they need to educate your users about, hey, this whole thing that you can not only just hold on your Bitcoins, you can put your Bitcoins into use. The idle Bitcoins can also be able to generate yield for that. And then, so we know that there's a lot of good things on the EVM side as well. That's why our Bitcoin network is also EVM compatible. So we want to bring what's the best about Ethereum and then what's the best of Bitcoin, combine them together so that it's going to provide a more, let's say, wider playground for the Bitcoin holders. And then, if you take another step back, in general, crypto assets is still pretty small. You're comparing to all the other major aspects like US stock market, stuff like that. And then we know that as the Bitcoin prices go up, and then as everyone was, trying to formally into this project, there'll be more, let's say, non-crypto users will be rushing into this space. So I think as a crypto, as a part of a team of startup, crypto startup, so we do have to, try to onboard more users, not only just from the crypto space in general, but how can we do better, to get more, let's say, Web2 users into the Web3 space?
Just to summarize what's been said, I believe one of the major challenge is actually how to bridge Bitcoin to the rest of the ecosystem, right? Because we see lots of Bitcoin Marxists and people who are staying aside. But at the same time, it unlocks an amazing opportunity for us because it can bring trillions of dollars of liquidity getting into the space. And an interesting fact I read recently that there are already 300 plus Bitcoin startups that got funded over $2 billion from VCs. So the industry keeps growing rapidly, for sure. But let's talk about some basic things, because we have stake in technology as a part of our topics, and you all kind of engaged in DeFi. So just practically, what kind of staking technologies are available within Bitcoin space, and what kind of yield you can generate on Bitcoin, and what are the tools that could be implemented to generate that yield? Who want to start first?
Yeah, I can go. Okay, so staking. A lot of people say staking, and it's this blanket term for yield on Bitcoin, which I highly disagree with. and I think it's a bit of a misdirection too. So when we talk staking, we mean actual staking, using Bitcoin to secure the core blockchain. And there are only really a few providers doing that. I think us and Babylon at this point. So it's not just Bitcoin yield. Anything else I see as yield on Bitcoin. So how it works with Core specifically is we're obviously a leading Bitcoin scaling chain. We have a fixed supply of 2.1 billion Core tokens. There are block rewards issued each day to stakers, Core stakers, Bitcoin stakers, and then also miners and mining pools who help secure the network. So it's very sustainable yield. There's a certain amount of emission every day that's been programmed in the chain for the next 81 years. So how it works is basically you have Bitcoin, you use your native Bitcoin wallet, and you issue a Bitcoin transaction, which is a time lock, a hash time lock on the Bitcoin network in your own wallet. So you have the peace of mind of not giving up custody of Bitcoin. It's in your wallet, but it's locked for a period of time that you specify. So what I mean by that is you can't use it, you can't spend it, but there's peace of mind of knowing it's in your Bitcoin wallet. And you can think of it as you're using that Bitcoin to vote, like in a delegated proof of stake system, for validators on the Core network. And we use that to help rank validators and every single day, and it's part of our consensus. So you earn block rewards for contributing Bitcoin to the network. It's as simple as that. Rates right now are as high as 30%, which is crazy. And what I should specify is that's with dual staking. We recently did a large upgrade 3 weeks ago. We still have a Bitcoin-only staking rate, but there's different tiers where we've kind of combined the capital bases of Core and Bitcoin. So if you're staking Core and Bitcoin, you get these boosted Bitcoin rates upwards of 30%. So that's going really well. Folks are very excited about this. We just announced BitGo yesterday is going to be is integrating this directly, so their institutional clients with Bitcoin can stake directly from their custody accounts. Many others coming soon. There's just huge demand from all ends of the spectrum to earn risk-free yield on Bitcoin. So that's how our system works. It's a staking platform, not restaking, not yield platforms, and it helps in the consensus to help us elect validators each day.
Great. Fisher?
Yeah, sure. So for BTC DeFi, as I explained earlier, it is about capital efficiency, liquidity, and yield. So at Babylon, we start with the yield side by building Bitcoin staking protocol, which is a slashable Bitcoin staking. And on top of that, we build liquid staking. We work with liquid staking projects to unlock Bitcoin's liquidity through liquid staking. So these two directions together will help Bitcoin holders to achieve much better capital efficiency.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think we have to, in order to get to the bottom of this, we have to talk something about a POS versus POW consensus, right? So that we know that POW is fine, it's super great for Bitcoin, so it's the most decentralized network, it's also the most secure network, but at the same time, it also wastes a lot of the energy. So that's why I think Ethereum has made a pretty good thing to turn into a POS consensus. So hence the word staking is that you can generate native yield for the Ethereum, for the guys who are not familiar with crypto in general. And then, so the staking side for Bitcoin is relatively new, but which is also why we are here, because we need to get the word out. We need to talk with the Bitcoin holders, and then try to convince them that there's at the same time, I think I agree with Fisher just said with the financial efficiency stuff like that. So that they need more infrastructures for this. You need to speed up the transactions, and then for us, also the transactions for each transaction gas fee is lower than 0.02 USDT value. So that's why we are trying to contribute to the infrastructure side in general, and then the users while they interact with with our network, so they can bridge their assets over, whether it's like a wrapped version of Bitcoin, and then we'll also be able to just participating in the staking. So not only such as Babylon or Core. So yeah, from us, I think we just positioning ourselves like one of the infrastructure providers, and then we'll be happy to see any other, let's say, technical innovations that's going to happen in the future.
Thank you. By the way, Fisher, what is the total value locked at Babylon right now?
It is about $2.3 billion.
I believe it's a good sign that the industry is growing.
As a small advertisement, our Cap 3 of Bitcoin staking mainnet will open in about 4 hours from now. So after this panel, I will rush back to my office and stay together with the engineers. Yeah.
Congrats.
Congrats, that's great. You were humble enough to mention that before, so I felt like it could be good to highlight.
Yeah, thank you.
Because it's a major milestone for the whole industry, I guess. So anyways, I believe we need to wrap it up. And my last, very fast question, how do you foresee the future of the industry in general? How there's kind of Bitcoin space, even from the technological standpoint, will affect the whole Web3 industry in general? Just a few theses.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start from Felix.
Yeah, so I think I think a lot of things has happened in 2024, right? Trump became the president, and then the Bitcoin ETFs, and then U.S. Treasury has been talking about possibilities to seeing Bitcoin as one of the treasures, right? So it's really exciting to see what's going to turn up in the next 5 to 10 years. So I'll be curious about whether the Bitcoin prices will also sustain this 4-year cycle as before, considering all the other, let's say, effects taken into consideration. And then at the same time, we'll also be happy to see that one thing's for sure is that more folks is gonna get into the crypto space in general. And then it's be happy to see that in the next 10 years that everyone was using B-Square network doing transactions or any other solutions. And then at the same time is that if you think about total market value for crypto in general, we're still around like $3.5 trillion, something like that. But if you think about the price for gold market is around 16 trillion, so there's still a lot of place to go. And then, like I said, so be happy to see what other, let's say, technical innovations is gonna be holding in the future. So I'm more than bullish than ever.
So I will. Okay, so yeah, I will envision 2025 to be the year where Bitcoin will become much more closer to the more traditional world, more mainstream world. And everything we are building here will be the vehicle to bring the mainstream world to the crypto world, bring more capital, more opportunity, more users. So I would say 2025 will be a great year for crypto, and it's a great opportunity for everyone here because of the unification between the more traditional world and the crypto world.
Yeah, also super bullish. I stand by the thing that I think we're working in the most exciting space in all of blockchain. You've got an asset that's 2 trillion, that's clearly going to grow. There's governments signaling they're going to buy. There's financial institutions integrating into traditional banks. There's a lot of self-custody solutions coming out. And then you've got native yield that's going to build these vibrant DeFi ecosystems. So, I mean, it's all just pointing to like an absolutely massive opportunity. And excited because it gets back to that, again, that the kind of mission vision of seeing this new financial system come up. Even if it'll get weaved into the traditional system, I still think we want to see this alternative system be built with side chains, bridges, et cetera, that I'm super excited about. And then, yeah, I think the trust assumptions will get a lot better very soon. There's a lot of really smart folks working on that. I think that tech will get a bit commoditized over time. Folks will integrate it, and you're going to see a lot of capital flow and be unlocked, because it's technically just sitting around. So I think there's a lot of latent demand, a lot of opportunity to unlock that capital, have it weave into ecosystems like Core and the others here, and it's just, again, a massive opportunity. So very bullish. Hopefully you guys got a bit of alpha. You guys are excited as well, but I wouldn't want to be working on anything else.
Cool. Let's stay bullish. Thank you very much. Thanks our esteemed speakers for coming today. Thanks everyone for listening to this panel. A round of applause to our speakers.
your company ready for the next evolution in financial strategy? Bitcoin for Corporations is your partner in securing the future of your business. With exclusive membership benefits, our comprehensive masterclass, and a network of trusted service providers, we provide the insights and resources to help you incorporate Bitcoin into your financial strategy, ensuring stability and long-term value. Strengthen your business. Innovate with confidence. Bitcoin for Corporations, protecting your treasury and positioning you for the future.